Louis Vuitton opened a luxury handbag factory down in Texas. And Jack, how's it going over there, man?
Not well. And that tells us a dirty secret of the trade war that no one is talking about.
Actually, Jack, to tell this story, let's travel back 6 years ago to the lovely town of Alvarado, Texas.
Home of cattle, rodeos, and oil.
The kind of place where you're ordering your steak rare. We said rare, no, rare.
I want that filet mignon still beating.
Or you're rare. It's rare, Jack. Well, this town also became home to a surprise newcomer, and that newcomer was the Louis Vuitton handbag factory.
Because back in 2019, LVMH, the largest luxury company on earth, cut a ribbon with Donald Trump to celebrate their first Texas factory.
And this factory was focused on mid-range bags. Like if you own a $500 brown LV branded purse, probably made down there.
It might have been made just outside Dallas, not just outside Paris.
And as part of the new factory, Louis Vuitton pledged 1,000 new jobs to stitch them all up.
Texans were going to go from stitching horse saddles to stitching handbags.
But here's the update, Yetis. 6 years later, we're looking at the numbers, and there are only 300 jobs at the factory, not the 1,000 that were promised.
And this factory, I quote, it's one of LVMH's worst, according to reports from Reuters.
Yeah, less Yahoo! A little more no. Because here's the news, Yetis. Louis Vuitton just gave an update on this Texas factory, and it actually explains a huge unspoken problem in the trade war.
Pardon our French, but one of our worst is not something that Texas is proud about.
Now, LVMH managers did go on the record calling for patience with this young factory.
But off the record, others said that the skilled labor needed for fancy bags just isn't possible in the United States.
I think they said, Jack, it is not possible.
And this isn't the French being arrogant about American workers. They shared data to prove their claim.
Here are the numbers. 40% of the leather being used at this Texas Louis Vuitton factory was being tossed out because of mistakes.
And that's a waste rate, true stat by the way, that is double as high as other LVMH factories.
We actually could go even deeper. Jack, let's talk about the famous Louis Vuitton opera bag that is notoriously hard to make, but they made at this factory.
Workers in Texas with no sewing experience are being caught melting canvas to hide imperfections in the leather.
Yeah, Jack, I'm kind of picturing the scene in Derek Zoolander when he goes to the coal mine and he gets the black lung. It's just not working for him over there.
Exactly.
Yeah, it's kind of the reverse of that. Or as one LV executive put it, it took them years to start making the simple pockets on the bags. So Jack, what's the takeaway for all our buddies over at Louis Vuitton?
It's a dirty secret about the trade war. Humans are not commodities.
Yetis, we are all for getting more high-skilled jobs into the hands of Americans. Jack and I are rooting for this factory. We love the idea of it.
But Americans have certain skills, and you can't always just switch to a completely new role in a completely new industry.
Like working on a ranch versus working on an oil drill versus working in a luxury handbag factory. Those are all a very different range of skills.
We keep hearing about bringing back jobs to America.
In general.
For certain industries, that can happen quickly because we have trained workers.
But for other industries, a lot of industries, it'll take years, decades to get the workforce ready for those jobs.
It can actually take entire generations for a region to pivot their workers.
Like it starts with parents telling the kids to focus on certain skills in school, and then they have to learn them over decades.
That's why products are typically made in manufacturing hubs.
In hubs, yeah.
They focus on one craft or one skill, from kindergarten all the way to corporate.
These hubs of expertise, that's what drives global trade, and that's what creates great products.
Louis Vuitton's struggling Texas handbag factory is a visual reminder that jobs are not commodities.